Hello again, friends. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're back for more, then hello. I am going to make a video today about being a kitchen witch and kitchen witchcraft, my own interpretation of it. So I heard this term about a year ago. Kitchen witch is basically there's different types of witches. That is something I can maybe get into in another video, but I'll just go over a few of the different types. There's a green witch. That's somebody who uses the natural energies like the earth to manifest. And there's a white witch. That's more like somebody who uses good energy to manifest good, versus black witches they kind of go with the dark energy, like tapping into really dark things like sex or even violence and murder, even like very dark witchcraft. And then there's kitchen witch, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the thing is, like with witchcraft, it's not like you have to say like, oh, I'm a dark witch, I am a kitchen witch. You can be all of them at once, and you can even be a light witch and a dark witch, at different times in your life. Typically there is like a rule, a consensus amongst a lot of witches that it's better to produce good energy, because then you give off the good energy, you give off the good vibes, and you get more good in return, versus if you manifest with dark energy, like, oh, you want something bad to happen to someone, karma can come into play. So bad things can happen to you. That's what some people say. For me, I think it's like, it's up to you. What do you think is right in the moment? Sometimes you go through a dark time and you need to use dark magic sometimes. But at the end of the day, to be honest, like if you are good, if you put more good out, you do tend to get more good back. So we're going to focus on the good, for the most part on my channel. Because, even people who might really be harming you, they're probably hurt. So that's kind of how I see it. Like if somebody is hurting you, you don't have to, usually, in most situations, you can, maintain some sort of space. But it's usually they're coming from pain. So do you really want to cause them more harm and they're going to become more bad and more pain? You know what I'm saying? So that's why I think it's good to be more on the light end of things. But sometimes the spells that we cast we don't really know how things are going to manifest. So, I do try to maintain, this is kind of a side note, maintain, positive vibrations, good energy, overall, but it is fun to kind of mix between the light and the dark sometimes. And by dark, I don't always mean like, bad things happening. I mean, dark topics like sex or things that people don't really like to talk about, like there's sex magic. There's all sorts of stuff that we could talk about. But today, kitchen witchcraft. Okay, let's begin. So kitchen witchcraft is basically like using items in your own pantry, in your own kitchen for manifesting. That's one facet of it. There's a spell, I found a recipe that I posted a video about, which I'll link below, and it's for the full moon, and it's for detoxing, and it uses cayenne pepper. I always forget how to pronounce it. Cayenne pepper. And it's for banishing, so getting rid of things using cayenne pepper. And then we have other things, within the pantry. Bay leaves, that's another one. A bay leaf is usually used in soups, and there are spells where you write down what you want to manifest on a bay leaf, and you throw it in a fire, which I might make a video about that one day. But my point being, like, there's different things in the kitchen that you can use for spells. Another one is peppercorns. A lot of spells require peppercorns or pepper or salt. Salt is used for healing and clearing and cleansing. Pepper can be used when you put it around your candle on your altar. Peppercorns for manifesting. this is kitchen witchcraft. And, I think that this must have all started with, women staying at home, being a stay-at-home wife or homemaker, stay-at-home mom, being in the kitchen and cooking and, having all these ingredients at their disposal. That was really where they had their power, was over the home. There's a lot of things you can do in the home that can help you manifest things faster, not just the kitchen. But the kitchen is a very powerful place because that's where we eat. That is where we are nourished. And that is where we connect with our loved ones. There's a lot of power in food in general. And that's what I want to talk about now. So, in terms of like keeping a clean kitchen, that's important. Keeping a clean and tidy home it's very important for manifesting. Don't ask me why. I just find that it's the energy. Like, it's kind of like the site of minimalism is very good for the energetic system within your own body, and with things coming to you more clearly, and having fewer distractions, and because sometimes you can have this anxiety if things are chaotic. In the back of your mind, you might not even think of it consciously, but subconsciously it might be bothering you. So it's good to have a really clean space, a beautiful space, good for magic. And the kitchen is somewhere where that's important. Don't let your dishes pile up. Put them away. Put them in the dishwasher if you have one. Clean them off. Sanitize your surfaces. Make sure you have, it's clean in there. It will be good for your own practice and your life in general. So another thing about food that's very powerful is that, when you cook, there's this book about this. It's a Latin American book, and I can't remember what it's called right now. But it's basically about this woman who she cooks and her emotions go into the food. There is something very true about this. There is something very true about that. When you cook, what you feel goes into it. And if you're cooking for other people, it's a very loving act. When you cook for someone, you can really bond with them and you can connect with them. It's an act of love. It's an act of service. There's the book about the love languages, which I did read a long time ago. I think it's a good book, but I actually think all the love languages are my love language, so I don't think I have one. But if you did read the book, Acts of Service, that's something, it's a very bonding experience to cook for someone else or to cook with someone else. You can also take it a level further if you're a witch. You might, you put your emotions into it. You can set intentions into the food and be like, I want this person to be my husband. Or I want this person to never leave my side. Or, there could be the really freaking dark side of it, and I'm not recommending this at all. But back in the day, people would, like in Shakespeare, I'm thinking about Shakespearean books, poisoning their loved ones' food if they want to kill them. But of course, I am not recommending that. But my point is that food is very intimate, so you can set intentions into the food, and when the person eats it, you can watch and see, how are they now responding to me differently, if at all. It is something they say that, a man's heart is in his stomach. To some degree, that is true. So is a woman's. It's very nice to have someone cook for you. It is very loving. You do feel more love, whether or not you believe in any of this stuff. It's an act of love to cook for someone. Another form of kitchen witchcraft, which I recently connected with, is kind of like cooking somebody's childhood food that they might have eaten growing up. That's a really good way to connect with someone and bond with them. Something that brings back memories that are positive or that are just reminiscent of their childhood. So if they're from a particular culture and their mom used to make this dish or their grandma used to make this dish when they were little, it can bring back a lot of memories subconsciously and consciously, and it can really be a connective experience, bonding between the two of you. So if you have a boyfriend or husband or wife or girlfriend, or, I don't really know, non-binary, like gender is not the issue in this, the point I'm trying to make, but um, if you have a loved one that you want to connect with deeper, try to ask them, oh, what did your, mom or dad or, whoever raised them cook for you growing up? And, or, think about maybe what their culture is, like what something that may trigger positive affiliations or some sort of childhood memory for them that might be very unique. Like, okay, let me give you an example. I am partially of Jewish descent. So I made a dish today for my father um, that is called kugel. It's like a Jewish recipe, very old fashioned, that like no one's made him in a long time. It kind of made it to just cheer him up or bring back some memories for him. And I'm interested to see, I just took it out of the oven, how he responds when I made it. I think it is a very nice act of love to do that for someone. Whether it's your spouse, partner, or parent, or sister, or friend, whatever it is, it can be really loving to them on a subconscious level, the inner child, to cook that type of a meal for them. And I do feel that it is kind of like in this little pocketbook of kitchen witchcraft, which is kind of coming to me right now. So, anyway, that's the story. Morning glory. If you like this video, that's kitchen witchcraft in a nutshell. There's a lot of other tips and tricks and little spices and remedies and potions you can make. That I'll have to get more specific in another video, but this is like a little intro. So thank you for watching. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to subscribers. And if you like this video and you want to see more, please subscribe.